Hi, Kathy Nelson here, founder of Connectworks, author, speaker, and executive coach, and creator of the popular Busy People series. Welcome to the Practical Wisdom series, part 2. In the first segment, we talked a little bit about the myths, 3 common myths people have about attraction, and we were just getting into what successful leaders do that others don't. And I want to continue there. You know, we all know leaders, individuals, people, and sometimes even companies themselves have this culture that just attracts you to them. You just want to be around them. You want to know what they've got. You want to know what they did. Whenever you hear them speak, you hear them name dropping, opportunity dropping, and you're thinking, gosh, they're so lucky. How could I be that? How could I do that? I want to be like that. I wonder what they did. I wonder what their secret is. Well, the secret is that they have some practices that others don't, so they can perfect being in a place that's attractive instead of trying to do the things to be attractive, or so that they can have the attraction. So the first thing that attractive leaders do that others don't is that they're present. They're present. They listen. They make eye contact. They aren't on their PDA. They aren't looking off into the distance. They're not watching other people. They're not typing on their laptop while they're talking to you over the phone or over their lap. They are listening. They're present. They're able to subrogate or defer their own agenda so that they can listen to you. I know that you've met people like this. You may even be a person like this. You've learned to master those things about your personality and your style and your need drivers that would cause you to have the need to be heard and the need to be first and the need to talk and the need to make sure that you're understood, or that any of those driving factors that cause us to not be present. Now, I want to ask you, the last time you sat with someone or heard someone who was present with you, who looked you in the eye, what happened? What was going on for you? How did you feel? Well, I can tell you how you felt, because I know how I feel when I'm with someone like that, and what I hear feedback from others is that they feel valued. They feel heard. They feel appreciated. They feel honored. And you know what? That's attractive. People want to be around that. They want to be around people that make them feel recognized. There is not enough of that in the world. So for any one of us, if we can practice that gift, the gift of presence, one thing is, the first thing right off the bat is that it makes others feel valued and it lets their brilliance show up. But it also gives a space for our brilliance to just express itself. Because every one of us has a brilliance. Every one of us who is uniquely wired when we were put together. Our DNA is so complex. It's pretty amazing when you think about it, when you get into the study of human and human potential, which has always been interesting to me, to see how we can maximize how we were designed and how to become that person that we were born to be. But when you think about when you still that down and you're just present and you allow another person to be with you, how attractive that is. So mastering that present requires really understanding your personality style. So if you've not recently done a personality profile, there's many on the market. The one that I use with my clients and for myself most recently is the DISC profile, the DISC. So understanding not only yourself, but as you get to better understand yourself, you get to understand the other three styles. Most of us have a primary style and a secondary style. So really, if you understand your primary and secondary, you're only having to learn 2 other styles to really understand other people and how to adjust your being in their presence. You can also understand when you're working in your DISC profile the needs that drive you. Whether you're in the D quadrant, you have a strong need for achievement, to accomplish. You're kind of on a fast track. You need to get things done. You're moving fast. you're able to suppress that or turn the volume down on that so that you can actually be present for another person who may not be in that style, or they may be in that style, but their need to achieve, their need to express that goal orientation can come before yours because you can understand how to adjust that for yourself. Or in the I quadrant, which is the influencing, the party people, they're out there, they have a strong need for significance, for contribution, that they can actually adjust that need or turn the volume down on that so that other people can show up. Or in the S quadrant, that needs connection, that needs relationship, that if they are in a situation with any other personality style, that they can adjust that or turn down that need for connection to be able to get to the bottom line for the other personality styles that are more fast-paced and need-driven in terms of achievement or certainty. And the last quadrant is the C quadrant with a strong need for certainty and a resistance to change. That personality style can actually flex a little bit on their need to change, understanding that they prefer certainty and they want to know what's going to happen next, but actually turn down the volume on that if they're working with someone that's more change friendly. They want more change. They want more change more quickly. So to be able to be present in all those scenarios first starts with understanding yourself, your wiring and your gifts, and your strengths. So the two tools, one is the DISC profile, to be able to find a provider. If you need one, you can either work with us or I'm happy to refer you to a couple of other excellent providers that I know. Number two is the Strengths Finder. Almost every time you hear me speak, I'll talk about the Strengths Finder. One of the things I appreciate about Strengths Finder is that it's just a book. It's a $13 book on Amazon, or you can go buy it at the bookstore. The book itself has a code in the back cover. You get that code and you go online. When you take that 20-minute assessment, it will spit you back a very robust report of your top 5 signature strength themes. And what's cool about this is that it almost always affirms some of the things that you know to be true, but you've been in a little bit of denial about because either you haven't been able to express those strengths, or you've somehow learned early on that some of those things were not good about you. So as you look at your Strengths Finder report and really begin to let the thought of that percolate through your being, and really embrace the idea that if you were wired this way for a reason, for a purpose, what would it look like if you could fully take the lid off and just be who you are? Just step out in all your strengths and have a blast being you. What would it do to the type of service you'd give? What would it be to the type of company you're building? What would it be? What would happen to the relationships in your family if you could show up and be yourself rather than feeling the need to compete or show someone or get back at someone who didn't do right by you? If you owned your strengths and you knew it in your core, you could come from a place of being. And that's where the being present really can have multiple effect and ripple effect completely through all the areas of your life and all your relationships. So number one practice that attractive leaders do that others don't is that they're present. They've learned themselves and they've become grounded in the truth that is them, and they've become okay with being them. As a matter of fact, they're excited about themselves, and they in turn transfer that out and give others permission to be themselves too. Number two practice that lucky leaders do that others don't is that they're prepared. They've done their homework. They know what great opportunities look like. They know, when they're in the business development arena, they know what prospects look like. They know what partners look like. They've done their homework. They truly understand the value that they deliver. And if they're wise, they leave a value trail. So they're constantly delivering some of that value in ways that people can get a taste of it, and then they can decide what they're going to do with it, how much they want to pursue or consume. So number two is that attractive leaders are prepared. They're prepared. And there's that saying that when preparation meets opportunity, luck happens. So that's what I want for you, is to develop this practice of being prepared so that you can go out and seize that opportunity and create those things and work with those people that are going to be attracted to you. So number 3 practice that attractive leaders do that others don't is that they are very resourceful. They're resourceful in ways that create value far beyond what they could deliver in their own abilities and their own strength set. And we all know people like that. As a matter of fact, you are probably like that. I believe that God wired every one of us to be resourceful. You know how I know? When we got hit with the unlucky stick and we've had bad breaks, we figured out how to deal with it. We're resourceful. We've found ways to overcome. So I want to encourage you, as you're looking at your business and your life, to think about what are other ways you could solve the problem? What are other ways that you could solve the problem for the people that you're talking to and interacting with? That you could deliver value in the fact that you're connecting resources or creating opportunities for them because you're resourceful. People love that. They love it if you give them something. And we all know we are information gatherers. We read the paper, we read the news, we look at the calendar, we hear about things that are happening. We can put 2 and 2 together for people in ways that others can't because of our unique wiring. So I'm going to encourage you to discover your own resourcefulness. The next time you feel stuck, or the next time you're in a situation where you're thinking, boy, what do I have to offer this person? Ask yourself, what if I did have something to offer? What does this person need? And even if I don't have it, how can I help them get it? Being resourceful. So the 3 practices that attractive leaders do that others don't is, 1, they're present. They know themselves well enough that they can quiet their own dialogue in their head. They can quiet their own needs so they can show up and let someone else be present as well. That creates an attractive quality. Number 2, they're prepared. They've done their homework. They've figured out where they need to be, what they need to do, how they need to speak, how much they need to speak, how little they need to speak, where they need to show up, so that when opportunity happens, they can make it happen. When people show up, they can engage them in a way that they begin to build tribe and community. The number 3 practice has to do with being resourceful. They figure things out. They solve big problems. They solve problems much bigger than themselves. They inspire people to be resourceful. So go out, be present, be prepared, and be resourceful. And you will automatically put yourself in the attractive people group. We're going to wrap up this video, and I want to ask you to join us on segment 3, which will complete this practical wisdom series on up-leveling your attraction factor by turning on your hot buttered popcorn effect. Don't take a break and go to the movies just yet. Join us on the flip side.